Marcus. I'm the Senior Head of Port Management and Operations at TUI Cruises. We are a German-based cruise operator. First of all, before we go into the 10 minutes, I fully understand. Thank you very much for the host, inviting us here. Thank you very much to all the colleagues, also for the technical team. So thank you in advance. TUI Cruises, we are a joint venture company. We are based in Germany, a German-speaking product, so all our guests on board are Germans. We have been founded as a joint venture structure between the TUI Group, located in Germany, Europe's second largest, or Europe's largest tour operator, and Royal Caribbean Group, the worldwide second largest cruise operator. We have two brands. One of the brand is Mein Schiff. It's for the volume market. And the second brand is Hapag-Lloyd Cruises. It's in regards to luxury and expedition cruises. Okay, thank you. So here you can see a timeline of TUI Cruises. We have been building ships for the last decade. We started with 2 ships from Celebrity Cruises. On the bottom part you see the destinations that we sail to. You do see the red line. The red line is where we stand right now. We were supposed to be sailing in Northeast Asia by 2020. For good reasons, we were not able to do so. So, it has been said already, we are looking forward for the reopening of South Korea as well as the neighboring countries for us to sail this region again, and we are planning to do so as early as 23, but I will come back to this a little later. A little information about the German-speaking cruise market. You can see the development of ocean cruise passengers has been steadily growing over the years. Germany is now Europe's largest source market for ocean cruise passengers. Our average age in Germany for cruise guests is between the 50s. It has been developing towards 49 in the last years, shortly before the pandemic. The German cruise market, to give you a broad idea, there are more or less 3 market segments. One segment would be the sporty casual club ship. This is where, for example, the brand AIDA Cruises is located. We have the high quality and contemporary cruise market. This is where we position our Mein Schiff brand. And we also have the classic and expedition ship market. This is where we are positioning our luxury ships and expedition ships from Hapag-Lloyd Cruises. Here I wanted to show you where we position ourselves once we are heading up to Asia. Once our guests take the opportunity to take a cruise in Asia, either in Southeast Asia or Northeast Asia, the cruises are getting slightly longer than average, and also our guests are getting slightly older, or let's say a little bit more experienced. The German guests, where do they tend to sail to? I highlighted for you as well. So it's just a minority that is sailing towards Asia because of the simple fact that you have to take a flight that is quite long, and obviously if you are on vacation you tend to have very limited time, and this is one of the reasons. So I would like to shortly introduce to you the fleet of TUI Cruises for the Mein Schiff brand, specifically here the Mein Schiff 5. This is the vessel that was supposed to come to Northeast Asia, to South Korea in specific, during the pandemic, which obviously then did not take place. This is how our ships look like. This is the smaller vessel. Here you can see the Mein Schiff 5 design. This is one of 6 almost identical ships that we operate. We cater to almost 2,500 guests overall. with approximately 1,000 crew members. This is pretty much how it looks like on board our Mein Schiff brand. Yeah, as you can see, well-being is in the focus of our cruise offering. And this is how our cabins look like. So we are targeting, as I mentioned before, the volume market, specifically the premium volume market. Within the Hapag-Lloyd Cruises brand, we also have 2 luxury cruise ships, the Europa as well as the Europa 2. Both ships are actually calling South Korea. They were before the pandemic, and hopefully once we have the protocols in place, both ships are scheduled to come back. And we also, as I mentioned, have expedition cruise ships, actually 3 of those. And yeah, we are sailing globally with those ships, and one of these ships is always scheduled to call South Korea towards the first quarter of a year during regular season. So yeah, let me introduce to you our year-round deployment plan so that you have an idea where the German guests actually focus to cruise. So during the summer months, Mein Schiff brand and Hapag-Lloyd Cruises guests tend to spend their leisure time in Northern Europe, for example, cruises to the Baltic, to Norway, but also towards the Mediterranean. You can also see that we marked down 10% in Northeast Asia. This has something to do with one of our expedition ships sailing all the way from the Antarctic via Asia towards the Arctic, and therefore stopping also by in South Korea. This is how it looks like in the winter season. The deployment is much more focusing on the southern part of the world. We have capacity in the Caribbean, Canary Islands, the Arabian Gulf, as well as Southeast Asia out of Singapore with the Mein Schiff brand. And we have deployment with Hapag-Lloyd Cruises on around the world itineraries, including Asia as well. Yeah, maybe a little bit more interesting to you as an audience is the deployment of both of our brands to South Korea. So this is what we are intending to do for the next 2 years. So in 23 and 24, we have a number of calls of different vessels to the region, Jeju and Incheon, specifically for the Hapag-Lloyd Cruises brand, and Busan then for Mein Schiff. Yeah, this is how it looks like. If we position a Mein Schiff vessel in Northeast Asia, we would home port in Hong Kong, and it's a Hong Kong round trip. Takes place twice a season. So we are sailing towards mainland China, South Korea and Japan, obviously, further to Taiwan. Yeah, we have scheduled this, as I mentioned, twice per season with the Mein Schiff 5 all the way for the next 3 years. So we are really awaiting that South Korea plus the neighboring countries do get their protocols in place for us to resume cruising here as well. I want to also show you how it looks like when we position a Hapag-Lloyd Cruises vessel in this region. Obviously, the itinerary looks a lot different. We have much more open jaw cruises with the luxury brand as well as the expedition brand. Yeah, we have a number of calls in 23 towards South Korea, and therefore I honestly do hope that we are able to expedite the process and are able to receive calls in South Korea as early as the beginning of 23. Otherwise, for example, we would have to again cancel cruises. And having lived through the last 2.5 years in a cruise line, I can tell you canceling cruises is actually quite stressful and is not what we actually want to do. So this is the deployment moving forward towards 24 and 25. 25, I just mentioned real quick, we also have plans to return to South Korea with the Europa as well as with an Hanseatic vessel. Yeah, we usually try to focus a little bit more onto the destination South Korea with our Hanseatic expedition ships, and we touch base on the more marquee ports with our luxury brand. I think this might be interesting to you as well. The green dots indicate where cruising is possible on an international scale. So most of our destinations are open for cruise. It's a little bit more difficult, as you all know, in Northeast Asia. Maybe this map gives you an idea what we need to work on in the next months to come. And I can only invite all of you who are working in the authorities, work with us. If you have any questions how cruising in safe environment can be, this is just a list. We have measures over measures. We have experience for the last 2.5 years. This is how it can be done in a safe environment. So you simply let us know what you need to know. And I'm shortly coming to an end at this stage already. So there are a lot of measures. You just let us know what you want us to do, and we can offer a safe cruising concept. We have developed all kinds of concept and response plans. There is certain measurements taking place on board. We have much more medical care than in the past. And there's a lot of things that we do. So thank you very much for having me today. I can only give the advice, let's not wait too long, let's get started now. I understood we had to stop the party, so it's time to start the party again. Thank you very much.